Hello and welcome to episode 57 of the Empowered by Design podcast. I am so excited to be here today with you. We have an amazingly fun episode coming up. I cannot wait to introduce you to another one of my favorite people in all the world, Ashely Thomas, and just hold on for a little bit because I have some fun things to cover before we get to my conversation with Ashely, which you are going to love. We are sticking with the theme of making life fun in this month of February, and we are going to be talking about making work fun. So, Ashely is an amazingly successful business owner and just the best person. I can't wait for you to hear our conversation. But before we get to that, of course, I have a little bit of snacks and apps to get to. Thank you. I am beaming with excitement. I don't know if you can hear it. It's like coming from deep down in my soul and my body. It's all around me. I am just thrilled beyond belief with how much you loved last week's episode. So last week, I brought on my husband, my Valentine, Chad, and we talked about how we have worked really hard to keep our marriage fun. We're married almost 16 years this year, and by no means is it perfect, but it is fun. We have our ups and downs, and we work hard to keep it fun, and you loved it. And I gauge your excitement and your love of it by how many downloads we have, because again, you've heard me talk about how I put these podcast episodes out, and the only way I know if you love them is if I see them downloaded. And last week's episode broke all the records for this podcast. The most episodes downloaded in 24 hours, 48 hours. I cannot wait to see how many more downloads it gets. If you haven't yet listened, even if you're not married, we talk all about romance and just connecting and how to make a relationship work through the years, through the ups and downs, through the kids, through the job changes, through pandemic. And I had a lot of fun. Chad said he said, slow your roll when I was telling him how excited I was about our episode. He's like, I'm not coming back anytime soon. And so I am going to need your help, because what I'm really crossing my fingers, actually, no, I know it's going to happen. I'm asking you to cross your fingers and do all the things that you do when you want to help someone accomplish their dream, which is what I'm asking for right here. I would love to and will be offering a workshop, Keeping Marriage Fun workshop series. Doesn't that sound amazing? Because you can listen to how we do it, and the workshop will help you do it too. So Chad said no, he's not doing it, but I'm really good at convincing him to do things. So we'll just give him some time. But in the meantime, if you could pray, send all your energy, good vibes out into the universe, whatever it is you can do to help get this rolling, I really would appreciate that. Again, if you haven't listened to it, go and listen to it. It's such a fun episode. And if you loved it, share it. I would love to see it really just keep breaking records. And by breaking records, I just get so excited when something hits the mark, right? If you've ever done anything where you have to produce or you're creating content and you don't really know if people love it, it can be okay, a little bit deflating. But this was, I'm soaring on cloud nine with this one because you really loved it. So please share it. If you loved it and you have a few seconds to leave us a 5-star rating, I would so appreciate that. A couple words about why you loved it would really help me in the future to create content and have episodes that are equally as exciting. I'm not sure if I can top that, but I'll try. Give me a challenge and I'll accept it. And he'll be back. He'll He'll be back, whether he knows it or not, or likes it or not. But yes, so, and subscribe, whatever platform you're listening on. If you haven't yet subscribed to the podcast, please do that as well. That helps you to know when the next one comes out. They come every Thursday, or at least they have over the first year. And who knows, there may be a surprise bonus episode that if you're subscribed, you know right away. And this is actually my favorite platform to deliver information, news, to talk about what we're doing here at Visionistas. We have so much fun stuff going on in the upcoming weeks, months. And this is how I love to share it. Yes, you can follow us on social media at Dr. Liz and at Visionistas by Design. Definitely do that too, because then you can just link right to our website or the registration pages for all our fun things. We have a virtual vision board party coming up this month, February 23rd, in conjunction with what you've heard me talk about before, the Nazareth Community Sip and Shop events that happen once a month. We are participating in that. So if you're in the area, you can stop by, grab a DIY vision board kit. We put all the things in there that you need to create your vision board. You can stay and do it here with us, have a little beverage, sip with us, or you can take it to go and join us virtually, or you can do it on your own. There's so many different options, but that is coming up this coming week. So Wednesday, the 23rd of February, we have next month. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited, and I'll talk more about it as it comes. Our very first Goddess Circle with Sophie, Hami, and it will be amazing. That's in March. So really, stay tuned. Follow us on social media. Follow our web pages. Subscribe to our email list. Yeah, you can do that right on our homepage at visionistasbydesign.com. If you scroll to the bottom, so you can sign up right there. And then you get an email too with all of this information at least once a week. I am so excited I'm so excited to be here. I can't wait for this episode. So thank you. Thank you so much just for listening, for coming back week after week, for the support of this podcast. And thank you to those of you who responded on social media, commented on the post about the podcast last week. For those of you who talked to me in person or texted me, messaged me, called me, and talked about your reaction, shared your love story with me, made fun of Chad and me. That's fine. It's okay. I just really am so grateful for all of that support and encouragement. You have no idea how much it means to me. I hope you have a little bit of an idea after today and just hearing me talk about my gratitude. So thank you. I do want to move on to introducing you to my guest for today, Ashely Thomas, and I want to read. So one of the most fun things is that you will hear us talk in our episode about her birthday, the birthday of her business. So as I mentioned, Ashely, in a few short years, went from a solopreneur, so a solo business owner, as a hairstylist, to growing an empire. Seriously, this woman is amazing and such an inspiration to me. You will hear me gush throughout the episode, but truly I respect and admire Ashely with all of my heart and soul. She is my hairstylist. I used to be her teacher, which you will hear as well. And we have become great friends, and I just so honor and cherish our connection. I want to read for you her birthday post to her studio. This was, so what's so fun is we recorded this episode last week. You'll hear her reference the birthday of 610 Hair Studio. So follow it on social media. That's SIXTEN Hair Studio. And when I saw this post a couple days ago, I said, I have to read it. I have to read this. So she doesn't even know I'm reading this because when we recorded it, I read her bio, which you will hear. But this was her post. Today we celebrate, I'm quoting, today we celebrate 3 years in business, 3 years of growth and fulfillment beyond our wildest dreams. Our team is beyond grateful for the loyalty and amazing support of our guests and community. To our guests, we wouldn't be where we are today without each and every one of you. We wanted to find a way to celebrate you and reward you for being the rock stars you are. Tomorrow we will be announcing 5 big giveaways totaling over $1,000 and a huge in-salon sale, so stay tuned. As our business and team continue to grow, we are so excited to see where this next year in business will take us. We have some very big moves happening in 2022, and we cannot wait to share our new space with you all in the fall. What would you like to see from us this year? Thank you again for supporting our dreams. Hugs and kisses, Ashely, Shelby, Julie, Molly, Liz, Ashlyn, Ashley, Kaylee, Jane, Lexi, Brittany, Morgan, Taylor, and Maddie. Oh, happy birthday, Ashely and 610, the 610 crew. Follow them on social media. If you're in the area, you can get in on some of these amazing giveaways. Personally, I want the curling iron, but they're just so generous. The spirit of that place, as you'll hear me say, is amazing. You walk in and it's like a sanctuary, and it starts from the bottom up to the top down, bottom up. It is the energy of love and empowerment. So happy birthday, 610. I am so honored to be, the timing of this podcast is divine, right? So I'm so excited to be a part of this birthday celebration in honoring your dreams come true in 2022, and cheers to many, many more successes and celebrations for you. Stay tuned. You will absolutely love this podcast episode with Ashely Thomas. Stay tuned. Welcome to the podcast, Empowered by Design. I'm your host, Dr. Liz, a licensed psychologist and owner of Visionistas by Design Wellness Boutique in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. This podcast is about the power of connection and a proactive approach to mental health and overall wellness. It's about finding and owning your power right now and using it for good by nurturing the connection of body, mind, heart, soul, and spirit. Empowered by Design podcast delivers psychological concepts and practical strategies with a real-life approach, designed to empower health and wellness, optimal performance, authentic connection with yourself and others, and purposeful, joyful living. Be well, live empowered, dream, design, deliver. Welcome to episode 57 of the Empowered by Design podcast. I am so excited to bring a special guest, a friend, a colleague, and I think you will just love her as much as I do. And welcome, Ashely Thomas.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
So I am going to read your bio first, just to tell everybody about you in that way. And then we are going to get into talking about how to make work fun. So not just work, but life too, which is kind of included in how to make work fun. But we're really wanting to talk and spread the empowerment of really enjoying what you do at work and helping to create a fun environment, which is something that I love about you. So without further ado, let me read your bio for all of us. Since 2008, Slate Belt residents have been able to find Ashely diligently working behind the chair. She attended Metro Beauty, where she graduated top of her class and was inducted into their Hall of Fame. Throughout her career, she craved a team environment where like-minded people could create amazing careers, and the team would celebrate each other's successes as much as their own, all while giving the guest the highest quality experience possible. In early 2019, based off of those principles, 610 Hair Studio was born. Ashely and her husband are self-proclaimed foodies. She loves talking with her clients about the newest restaurant they have tried or the best locations for their next vacation. She has road tripped through 47 of the 50 states. At home, you will find her binge watching a series on Netflix and cuddling with her fur kids, Gunner and Hank. Ashely is constantly attending classes and is always so excited to gush about the newest thing she learned. Sitting in her chair is a different experience than most guests are used to. The entire process, from consultation to color choice to application and styling products, will be thoroughly explained to the client. If you're someone who loves to know the what and why of all things hair, then Ashely is the perfect fit for you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. That is so much fun to read.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. I'm very happy to be here, and I'm just happy to chat with you and talk all about making work fun.
Yes, we love chatting. This is one thing that we love to do, and so we go way back. We've been chatting for quite some time, and this is not our first collabo, but I'm so excited to have you back with me. Whenever we get together, I just love the space that we create. No matter what, no matter if we're doing something in a collaboration or I'm sitting in your chair, or we're doing this kind of meeting, or we're, just going out and meeting for fun, we always, time flies, because we love to chit chat and talk about lots of different things. So let's start with kind of just tell us there's so much in that bio that I just love reading and want to pull out, and we will. But just kind of tell us in your words your philosophy about life and work, and how to create that kind of fun and also fun, but also productive environment.
Ooh, all right. For work, my philosophy with that is definitely creating balance. There's a time, there's a time for fun, and there's definitely a time for working, and they can definitely coexist and live at the same time together in the same space. For me personally, I found it's really important to have a balanced team of people who can be each one of those things and kind of help each other through the days of when one person wants to be, not producing as much and the other one wants to pick up their slack. And I also think, having someone on your team who is a lot of fun and takes things very lightly all the time is really great. And then someone who's super serious, they kind of balance each other out, which we definitely have people like that on my team. Particularly, and I love that because it really just makes the day balanced. And I really think it's just about balancing all the way through. You got to have balance with your your work-life balance for sure, to avoid burning yourself out. And that really helps increase creativity, which is super important for our my industry, and it helps really just all the way around. So yeah. So balance.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love that. Yes. And balance is, yes, it's amazing. And I love all the different ways that you framed balance in the different aspects. Let's start with the team, because I loved in the little bio that I read, the word celebrations just pops out for me because, well, first of all, when I come into your studio, I've told you I would, I come to get my hair done, but I would love to just come and sit there because you have created such an amazing flow of energy and just a beautiful space that just feels good. It feels good, and that has to, come from that your dedication to picking the right people, keeping the balance between fun and productivity. And I just love that idea um, of being a team, celebrating each other, picking up where someone might need some help.
It's definitely something we experience on a day-to-day basis. Those aren't really just words that we're saying in my bio. That is truly how, if you're a client there or someone who works with us, it's definitely how it happens every day. If I'm having a bad day, someone's picking up my slack, and that could go all the way around. There's 14 of us there, and everyone's always balancing each other out and picking up where one person might be slacking for the day, because realistically no one's perfect and everyone has a day off, and an off day, I should say.
Yeah.
So someone's always picking up the slack. But I do feel celebrating is a huge balance or reward to the hard work that goes in. And a lot of people, myself included, I have a hard time going, how do I say this? I have a hard time where I'm like constantly on to the next thing before I really celebrate. But I have heard from my team that they really love the celebrations and everything. And so I try to do that because now they do it, they do it too. So, and it's really just been great. So
yeah, I love that. And I think that's one of the things that we have talked about in an overlapping kind of way in our own personalities, that we love to strive, and we're constantly like full of ideas and on to the next one. And so it's fun and helpful when you find people who can help you remind you to, okay, pause. Let's see how far we've come. Let's celebrate the little things, the big things. And speaking of celebrations, you just had a huge celebration. Tell us about your most recent huge celebration.
Oh, yeah. So we were striving to hit a very large goal in our salon as a team, a sales goal. And we kind of set this goal back in March of 2021 randomly. So we were like, I kind of did some number work, and I was like, you know what? I think that maybe this is doable. So let's see what we can do. So I started telling everyone about it, and then it kind of just was in our day-to-day lives where everyone was, until about halfway through the year, everyone would hear me saying, like, we were trying to hit $1 million in 1 year. And I was like, we can do this. We can do this. And everyone was just like, yeah, okay, whatever. And then halfway through the year, it was like, all of a sudden, everyone was like, okay, let's do this. And I mean, people were like, if there was someone sick and out, one of the stylists, another stylist is like, I'll stay late. I want to help with this goal. And it was like, we work a lot. So to see someone do that was really, really awesome, because no one ever wants to volunteer more work when they're already working a lot. But they really wanted the team to help hit this goal. And I always say, it's funny because in our industry, as hairstylists, you're really working towards your own personal goals, because that's just kind of how it is. And there's not a lot of teamwork happening inside of salons typically, at least from my experience and most of my coworkers' experience in past salons. And so we were really out to have a teamwork environment. So I always say it's like we're on a wrestling team. There's there's all of us working to get to states and individually working, but also it feels really great if the team can get to states, because your town celebrates you and your school, and being part of a team, there's really nothing like it, in my opinion. And it's just so great to go to work every day and have people next to you cheering you on every day and helping you achieve not only your personal goals, but your team goals as well. So we did hit our goal with 1.5 days left in the year to go. It was a nail biter for sure. It was definitely like that. So
That's great.
we had a huge party, and it was a whole day event. And then not only were we celebrating just the huge goal that we hit, but we were also celebrating we tried to make it fun. So I did little trophies and everybody got to vote for each other for like superlatives, like in high school, like most likely, like worst driver, most likely to be late, things like that. And so we did these little awards and that was like super fun and everyone had a great time doing that as well. So
Yeah, that's great. I love the image of the wrestling team, which so a little bit of a background of where of our overlap is we come from a town. We both went to the same high school. Later on in I was your teacher in that high school. So we go, when I say we go back, way back, we go way back. But one of the biggest, we come from an area where wrestling, high school wrestling is a big sport in our area. And I love that analogy of really recognizing that each person on the team has their own like slot, so on a wrestling team, it's a weight class. So they each have their own slot. And really you go out and it's all you really, the performance aspect of it, but the energy and the support and the encouragement and the, clapping and the let's go cheering, is all of that energy that you're talking about that you have really fostered in a way that's so amazing and really, again, just evident. It's palpable when you walk through the door that there is that team environment, and you model the hard work, you model the setting the goal and striving for the goal, and also then celebrating it, which is just again speaks to your intention for balance. But I love that you brought up really creating a measurable goal and saying, months in advance. So it wasn't like, oh, we should do this next week. It was like, this is a big undertaking that we're going to strive for together. And people rose to the challenge, even though it may have seemed a little bit lofty in the beginning. It became really realistic and so fun. So
definitely.
congratulations.
Thank you. I definitely think in the beginning, everyone just like most of my crazy ideas, everyone kind of just looks at me because I'm a dreamer and they always look at me and think like, yeah, right. Okay. But I also put things in motion. That's one of my strong suits. Like if I set out to do something, I'm good at creating actionable measures to get us there.
Okay.
For sure.
So breaking it down to make it not so like a mountain of a goal, but making it actually seem achievable. And then your energy and your belief in it inspires others to believe as well.
For sure.
Yeah.
So somebody has to be the one to push everybody forward into these crazy, scary things that someone dreams up. So that is definitely my role in my company.
Yeah, I love that. And I think one of the things that we've talked about throughout our time together, just knowing each other personally and then in business. So you have been such an inspiration to me as a business owner and a team leader throughout the years. And so I've loved watching you and seeing things on social media, and then also getting to talk to you as well when I'm in the chair and beyond. One of the things that I think when you talk about balance and you talked about the productivity and also fun and celebrating, is that you have created core values for your salon, your studio. Tell us a little bit about that, and how in your system, in your mind, how does that help to facilitate the balance between fun and productivity?
Oh, that's a great question. Okay, so basically, our core values are something that the team at the time, which was about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, the team that existed at that time, we all got together at my house. We decided together what was important to us as a team and our foundation of our business, basically. And then we all decided on them kind of together. So at that time, it was really nice because we all collaborated together. But basically, our core values are basically our guiding light through every day. And they really help us make decisions based off of when we're unsure how to make decisions, we can look at these core values, and that will help us make the proper decision for the business and our team based off of them. And it's funny because we have 7 core values, and my team is very young. I think our median average age is 22 or 23. So a lot of these women are still coming into themselves and learning about themselves. And I've had a couple of them say to me, like, these don't just help me in my day-to-day at the salon. They also help me in my day-to-day as a person and a human, and they help me navigate life. And I was like, oh, wow, I didn't know I was going to get that. That's really great. That's what it's there for, to really help you navigate the business, but also life.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I won't put you on the spot to tell us all 7, but can you give us a couple of the top core values? Yeah.
My favorite, most important one is integrity. And it's often we'll ask the girls, like, what's the most important core value to you? I'm always the only one that says integrity, and it cracks me up. But integrity for me is doing what's right, not what is easy. And I think, especially in today's world, it's a hard thing. Life is hard to navigate right now. And I oftentimes am challenging myself to do the right thing, not what's just easy. So that's something that's super important, and that can go all the way across the board, with dealing with a customer or a coworker or a decision that you are making in your mind, and you have to stop yourself and say, like, nobody else is going to see if I do this, but am I going to do it? And so that one is super important to me. Communication is also very important. We say, like, when you're not communicating something, you're leaving room for doubt. So it's super important to be clear and kind and just tell everyone exactly what it is you're doing or thinking, because no one knows what's going on in your head. So that one is really great. That is something I think a lot of people, including myself, everybody really struggles with communication. It's hard to be constantly communicating and telling someone, we have something where we say, take it to the source. So we have 13 women working in one building. And oftentimes people will say to us, like, how do you all get along so well? Like, there's no way you all get along. And I can't believe I'm saying this. We're about to celebrate our 3-year anniversary on Saturday. And it's the honest truth. Like, we've rarely had a situation where there was any sort of drama in the inside of our building against each other. And I think it's because we have this thing where we say, take it to the source. So if you're going to say something to someone else, you're not going to bring it to the person you're talking about, are you going to take it to the source? And if you're not, then don't even bother saying it. Definitely something we practice, we're learning, we're trying to work on, but it's just teaching people to have direct communication skills with each other. Instead of saying it to someone else, just say it to the person and let's move on.
I love that.
Because every day you could have, it could be something so silly, like, I don't know, like, so-and-so didn't clean up their bowls out of the sink. Instead of telling someone else, you just go tell the person. And in the beginning, it was definitely a little bit of a challenge to experience that. And even though I was telling people to do that, it was still hard to watch them try to communicate together. And everyone really works through it. Like, they're like, all right, cool, you're right, I should have just done that, sorry. And they move on. And so communication is definitely a big one for us.
I love that too. Sorry, before you move on. I think it's neat to hear the take it to the source, because it's almost like if I could imagine somebody coming to you as like obviously the team leader, the owner, and being like, this is happening, or in a way that is maybe complaining or talking about someone else, and just them knowing if they come to you, you're going to say, take it to the source, right? Then they kind of start to think that even before they cut out the middle person and just go directly to their team member. Yeah, I love that.
We're still learning that one for sure. That one's a tough one, but
I think every human is still learning that one. But I love that, because it really does, just in those first 2, it really highlights that point that your team has made to you of how this isn't just what is great for work, but this is really what's great in life too, because we can probably, everyone listening can think about a time when instead of just taking it to the source, you took it somewhere else and it didn't work out well, right? Because it can be very, very uncomfortable to, it can be an uncomfortable thing to directly say to someone, hey, I noticed this. Let's talk about it. And that's usually the thing that's going to resolve or make people connect much more cleanly and authentically.
For sure. I think that it's an interesting thing to, like I said, to watch people kind of have those encounters together. And it's like anything, the more you do it, the easier it gets. So I always say to them, you have 3 options. We're either going to ignore it, I'm going to take care of it, or you're going to take care of it. And I don't want to ignore it, and I don't want to take care of it.
So there's your choice. There's your option.
I find in the beginning when I was never a leader before. When we first opened, I was learning just as much as everyone else was. And so in the beginning, I didn't know what I was doing, and I was just testing it out and trying to see what worked. And I will tell you how I used to do things did not work. So we've definitely had a huge shift in our business in the past year and a half on how we handle things, which is why we came up with core values. And we're trying to just we have made a huge shift. And I used to handle everything for everybody. And it was exhausting for me, but also it didn't really help anybody because there was no direct accountability from the person who was saying something to me and then the person I was bringing it to, and they could have just hashed it out together. They were using me as the middleman, which was my own fault. I was allowing that to happen. And it really was stressful for everyone involved and nothing ever got solved. So now we just take it right there. Take it right to them.
Yeah, that's great. And I think that that's, again, really applicable to life because we can think of a team environment and different kinds of groups that we have, whether it's you're actually on a team at work or on a performance team at school, or you're in a family that's a team, or you're in a friend group that can be, a collective collection of people where things can get messy if it's kind of we go around the source, go around through the back door. And so I love that I guess I'm curious when you think about how you made that shift from doing it one way to recognizing what might work better. What was really key for you in that?
I just knew what I was doing wasn't working. And my team went from literally 4 people to 12 people practically overnight. And so I wanted to do better for them. Like I knew that I didn't know what a leader was. And I also, when I first opened 3 years ago, had no idea that I said I wanted to be a leader, but I had no idea what that meant. And so I was still learning, and I knew I had a duty to take care of them because what I was doing wasn't working. And so there was no opportunity for fear. I had to just jump in and figure it out. And so I did have a coach that helped me through it for sure and gave me a lot of pointers because this would have taken years and years of me just figuring it out.
Yeah.
So I really just couldn't have fear because I had a team that was depending on me. And so I think that's really what helped me just kind of move forward with it.
Yeah, and that jumps out too when I think about just reading your description and just knowing you that you are constantly taking some kind of course or class or training, or you have a coach, which is just speaks to your passion for continuing to grow and learn yourself. And again, setting up that model for your team is, I'm sure, probably one of the biggest things that has helped is that they see you striving to continue to grow in yourself, whether it's in your behind the chair or not behind the chair, leading the team of people who are servicing clients and customers. And so I love that. I love that attention to. I myself have found having a coach for myself and my goals in business to be so helpful, because I think especially both of us kind of went into an industry where you became really skilled at your job, right? And then taking on that next step of growing a team is completely different, can be completely different territory. So having guidance along the way in an actual coach, a person who's helping you, programs and classes and trainings, is also key. Yeah.
I agree. And I think, like you were saying, like leading by example is so important. Anybody
Mm-hmm.
can stand up. The difference between like a boss and a leader is the boss is just going to stand there and tell you, do this, do this, do this, and this, and they're not going to ever do it.
Mm-hmm.
Where I don't believe in that. I believe in, I saw kind of a hole in my industry where I wanted a gap that I wanted to fill. And it was, I didn't want to be a boss. I wanted to be a leader, somebody who was going to stand next to them and do the same thing, and not be afraid to do all the things I was asking them to do. And
Yeah.
so that also goes with taking classes, but I mean, it can go all the way down to like anything that we do every day that I'm asking everybody else to do. I also will do the same thing. So,
Mm-hmm. And so I just wanted to come back to, that we went on this kind of angle when you were talking about communication, and just wanted to see if there was any other core values you really wanted to mention.
let's see. They're all so good. I was trying to think. I mean, we already kind of teamwork is another one, but we already kind of talked about that one.
Yeah.
I know one. Okay. One is self-care.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love self-care.
And again, like most people in any sort of life situation, I guess we could say this, like a lot of people have a hard time with boundaries and setting themselves up for success outside of everything else. And what I mean by that is, again, I could speak to my industry, but this can go to pretty much anyone's industry. It's hard to not overexert yourself and put every ounce of yourself into your career. And we work with customers and we work by appointments, and we're people pleasers. We want to make everybody happy.
Mhm.
And we made the self-care one because we felt like it's something a lot of us struggle with, myself included, where all we do is work and work and we don't take care of ourselves. And that's, that saying, like, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Right.
100% true. Like, if
Yeah.
you're not 100% or even like 75%, how are you going to push that off onto others and take care of other people? Since we are in like a service industry, it is super, super important that we try to take care of ourselves and nurture ourselves so we can continue to be great for others.
Yeah, I love that. And my follow-up is going to be, what are some of what have you found to be the most kind of helpful things that you do in taking care of yourself? Because and the reason I'm asking, I am putting you on the spot, but because it is a struggle for people, and self-care is this huge kind of buzzword, and we've been hearing a lot about self-care. I talk a lot about self-care and self-love. I have a couple of programs that help people, but it's also can be really helpful to find things that work for you, because what works for me isn't necessarily going to be as nurturing and beneficial for you. It could be, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. So I think it's always lovely to talk out loud about what helps you, and it can inspire other people to say, oh, wow, I never thought of that. Or, yes, I love that too, and I haven't done it in a while, and now that's a great reminder for me to do that.
Okay. You're not gonna like this answer.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be very transparent and honest here. So for the past 3 years, I've really put every ounce of myself into my business and my team. And like I said, I'm always trying to find the next problem to solve. And the next problem to solve is definitely, I'm trying to reestablish some things that fill my cup up that is not work. So personally, I'm still working on that. I do like to travel. Traveling definitely gives me, fills up my cup. So honestly, this year I have like a trip planned every other month. So that fills my cup up. But in the middle of those trips, I definitely am working on trying to find something else that can fill up my cup. Because although this is work related, planning fun things for my team really fills up my cup, and spending time with my team, they're not just my team, they're also my friends. And I try to, I'm their leader, and I do have to be their boss sometimes, but they all respect me enough that we can have that friend atmosphere, and we can do things. So we do a lot of things outside of work together. But really just, I love spending time with my nephew and my sister and my mom. I like to go out to eat. So I don't really like self-care like most people, like bubble baths and facials. Self-care is more just like giving myself the opportunity to chill without feeling guilty that I wasn't working.
Yes, I love that. And I love that answer. I love it because there's not a right or wrong for self-care. Really, there's not. For you, travel and doing things with your team outside of the studio is an aspect of self-care. Spending time with your family, going out to eat. Love it. I love all that. That's wonderful.
Yeah. So I'm still trying to find a new hobby. I think that's what I'm searching for. Something that gets me super excited to do that is not work related, but the rest of it, I really love to travel, like I said.
And you're also in a, right now, a phase of I think you're always in a phase of growth, but you have a big project undertaking. Tell us a little bit about that.
Woo, girl, it is
Yeah.
a project. It's a project. So we are relocating about 2 blocks away from our current space. Right now we're in a 1,200 square foot salon, which has been very, very good to us for the past 3 years, but we have just completely outgrown it. We are busting at the seams. We are utilizing every single corner and everything in this space we're in right now. So back in November, I signed paperwork to a new space, which is in the process of getting completely gutted. It's a 6,500 square foot, beautiful brick building, like I said, about 2 blocks away from where we are. And we're going to have so much space for our current team and new team members. And the current team that we have really, and myself, we desperately need to spread out a little bit and have our own. We are literally on top of each other, and they do it so well. It's like incredible every day, but you have to like climb over someone who's like eating lunch to get to the other chair so you can work on your laptop. So our break room is like 150 square feet. It's also our office. It also has a fridge and it's storage. And so we're definitely looking forward to that, but we're going to be bringing in some new services as well for self-care for other people. We're going to have massage, facials, probably some lashes. And then obviously we're going to be continuing hair services there with, I think we have, 6 chairs right now. We're going to have 16 in the new space. So we can really like spread all the way out, and I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. And then we're also going to have a boutique space in there where we can sell like clothes and some jewelry, some gifts, maybe some home decor. So we're really excited.
Yes, that is so, so exciting. I love it. I'm so excited to follow along. Tell us where we can follow along on the journey, not only for the new space, but just to kind of see all the fun things that you and your team do.
Sure. So you can find us on Instagram. It's 610 Hair Studio. That is spelled out SIXTEN. And then you can also find us on Facebook the same way. And you can find myself on Instagram. It's hair by Ashely Thomas. And on our Instagram, you can also find all of our team members if you want to follow along on their journey. Yeah, we're going to definitely be posting some updates on our new location and our new space. Demolition starts next week. So
wow,
found out before this call that's happening. So I'm excited. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. And I think too, as you're talking about creating space, that is, I would say, another way to nurture and take care of ourselves, right? Is finding space where we enjoy connection and love connection and feel energized by connection, but then also recognizing the importance sometimes of just disconnecting and having time and space to be a little bit, separate and by ourselves and nurturing ourselves in that way.
Definitely. I agree.
So I have a question for you. Here at Visionistas, we love to talk about, especially when we're talking about self-care and self-love and nurturing, we talk about nurturing ourselves body, mind, heart, soul, and spirit. So 5 different aspects that we recognize are correlated and connected, but we pull them apart sometimes to just really understand how they affect us. So my question for you is, if you had to pick one of those 5 and say, what's my go-to when I need to really kind of just love myself, nurture myself, which one of those is your go-to? Body, mind, heart, soul, or spirit?
Ooh. I would say my mind. My mind isn't shut off. So if I could put it toward good use, whether it's just even if it's learning about how to take care of myself while I'm nurturing my mind, I think that that's definitely helpful. My mind is always going, so it's important to kind of put that at ease a little bit. And I would say mind. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yay. And now we're going to move to the this or that portion of so every time I have a guest on the podcast, a new guest, we do a little game. And so I'm going to give you a few questions where I'm going to say this or that, and you just talk about your answer. Pick one and talk about your answer. Now, some of these, I already had some planned and you already talked about them. So I will start and come up with them as we go. But the first one is, so you talked about loving, like being a foodie, loving to go to restaurants. When you're picking your favorite kind of food, is it by land or by sea?
Oh, definitely by sea for sure. I love seafood, any kind of seafood. And I'm always seeking out the best, freshest seafood for sure. And when I travel, especially, I love when I'm somewhere near a coast so I can try their seafood. So definitely seafood.
Okay. And then with travel, cruise or road trip?
I've never been on a cruise actually, but I've road tripped, like we said earlier, through almost every state and starting to go international now. So I would definitely go road trip for sure.
Oh, and you're going to do an international road trip on the horizon?
Yeah, so I travel with my friend a lot, and we usually can only get away for like 5 days. So I'm sure there's some sort of road trip internationally in our future. We're already trying to figure out where we're going next. And I believe we're going to try to go to Iceland. And I know we won't just stay put in one spot there. We'll probably drive the whole, because we've done like 1,800 miles in 4.5 days with 6 states. So I'm sure once we go into like the European countries, we're going to be driving all over the place. So
Yeah. Oh, that's fun. That's fun. Okay, one more this or that. I was going to say bubble bath or massage, but you basically said neither of those.
it would be massage, but that was so funny.
You're like, I don't do bubble baths or facials. Oh, that's funny. Okay, I got one. Okay. Throwing a surprise party for someone else or being the guest of honor at a surprise party?
Ooh, I thoroughly enjoy entertaining and planning and organizing. So I would definitely go with the throwing a party. Not that I would be mad if someone threw one for me,
Okay.
but I definitely love to entertain and plan all that stuff. So I would probably want to plan a surprise party.
Okay. So you do love surprises.
Yeah, I like surprises,
Okay.
but I also like
Giving
all
surprises.
that stuff. So
Yes, you do.
I'm kind of neutral on that, but I think I would go
Right.
more toward planning it just because, like, yeah, I don't mind surprises.
Okay.
I think I like them. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I'm just wanting to give you one more time to, if there's, one more time to tell us where we can find you, um, And just thank you so much. I love the lessons that we talked about for really balance. Balance was something that you started with in the beginning and talked about the different ways to balance team and work life, fun and productivity, but also having those core values, I think, are and boundaries you referenced, of knowing the expectations, knowing the basics of where we're coming from and what we're working towards, helps to allow for fun, but also balancing it with the seriousness and the productivity. So I think that, thank you for sharing your wisdom with us.
Of course, I had so much fun, and I can't wait to do whatever we do next, because
I
I
know.
know something next.
Yes,
Sure.
I loved, yeah, we really didn't talk. I mean, I referenced how we connected, through school, and I was your teacher. But I remember when I said to you, will you be a guest on the podcast? It was kind of like I had already mentioned it in one of my podcast episodes, because you always say yes. You always like, of course, you're up for anything. So I appreciate your adventurous spirit and your time and your energy. You have so much going on. So I very, very much appreciate the time that you have given to us today to share your inspiring journey with us and your golden nuggets of wisdom. Thank you so much. And one more time, where we can find you.
Sure. Thank you so much, by the way, because you're the one that's always having these great ideas and putting yourself out there and bringing me along with you. So I love that for sure. You can find me at 610hairstudio.com, or also 610 Hair Studio on Instagram or Facebook. We keep it really simple. We are the only 610 Hair Studio. So just spell it out and it's in there. And then I am hairby.ashleythomas on Instagram as well.
Okay. Well, thank you, Ashely. Thank you so much. And I invite you, listeners, friends, to share this episode with someone that you love, and really just take some time and reflect on the things that you heard explicitly, the tips that you heard about balance and values, and spend some time reflecting on how this applies to your life, whether you're on a team, whether you're in charge of a team. We would love to hear from you. If you have questions, you can always DM me at Instagram on Instagram at Dr. Liz, and just would love to hear from you with any questions, and we'll get back to you with answers. So thank you for listening, and I cannot wait to connect with you on the next episode. Bye, Ashely.
Bye, Liz. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye. Thank you for connecting on this episode of the podcast, Empowered by Design. For further connection, subscribe to my email list at drliz.com to be sure that you are in the loop for exciting news, events, and resources. You can also follow me on social media at Dr. Liz and at Visionistas by Design. I invite you to subscribe to this podcast and send this episode to one of your people in order to share the love, spread the power. This podcast is designed to inspire, educate, and empower you to pursue your dreams with intentional vision. This podcast is not meant to be a substitute for psychological treatment or a working relationship with a licensed mental health professional. For more information on connecting with mental health resources in your area, visit drliz.com and click on resources. Thank you again for connecting. And remember, trust the heart, work your vision, dream, design, deliver.